So we have learned now that Zion Williamson, the prodigy, a man ahead of his time, Zion Williamson officially has agreed to a 5-year contract for $193 million. That's the extension. So Zion's buying gas for everybody. He'll stay with the Pelicans. Now, that deal could end up at $231 million. So it's at least $193. That is the most money that New Orleans can pay Zion Williamson. It could bump up to $231, as we said. Now, Shams Charania, who's in a dogfight with Woj to break NBA news, he vaguely passed on that the deal has injury protections, but did not get into specifics. So we're a little skeptical of those injury protections. However, we know that Williamson's contract here will become a supermax. That means the $231 million. All he has to do is make an all-NBA team this upcoming season. Of course, that would require him to actually play, something that has been foreign to him. But how much are we want to get into this? So either way, New Orleans, it would appear, is out of the bidding for Kevin Durant, and not that they were ever likely in the mix seriously for Durant. And we had made our opinion very clear on our opinion of Zion Williamson. So now that a contract has been agreed upon, are you going to go thumbs up or thumbs down on Zion Williamson's max extension with the Pelicans? So I'm going to go 2 thumbs down. 2 thumbs down. I've got rotisserie oven, toxic relationship, and detour. And through audio magic, we're going to put all of these into a bag and we're going to make them vanish. Wow. Poof! Just like that. Right into thin air. So number one. Zion Williamson has simply not proven he's worth it. Now, I realize there's a lot of fanboys and athlete worshipers in the media masquerading as reporters, but we are big believers that you have to earn your money. I guess we're from the old school. And I realize that doesn't happen much in professional sports, but if I was running a team, I would not just hand out these mega contracts just because somebody says you have amazing potential, untapped potential. You do that with a combination. Now, you pay for performance, but you also obviously pay for what you can do, but you have to do something. And dependability of performance. So you have to be like the Showtime rotisserie oven, that infomercial that's been around for years. And the late Ron Popeil, the great infomercial guy, his catchphrase, set it and forget it. Zion Williamson has not been that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Zion has been set it and regret it. That's who he is. You look at the injury chart, you're like, oh boy. Uh-oh. Who goofed? I've got to know. Zion Williamson has missed time in a very brief NBA career with a torn meniscus right knee. He had surgery on the right knee, sprained ankle, toe injury. Essentially, what New Orleans has done until proven otherwise is give Greg Oden, one of the great busts of all time with the Trailblazers, a max contract. Zion Williamson has been unable to walk and chew gum at the same time consistently in an NBA uniform without getting a headache. Now, Greg Oden, the much maligned Greg Oden of a previous generation, he played in a total of 82 games over the first 3 seasons of the NBA. Zion Williamson now in his 3rd NBA season, and actually now going into his 4th because he's completed 3, which should have been his 3rd year. He's played a total of 85 games. That's it. That's all. Bupkis. That's the comp. The comp is Greg Oden and Zion Williamson. Now, we are pulling for Zion to turn out to be good. But just because we're pulling for him as a fat athlete to succeed does not mean he deserves the contract at this point. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Now, secondly, what was New Orleans thinking? Did they decide to take stupid pills out of the pharmacy? Is that what they did? Now, they're playing the speculation game. It's a very small-minded approach. It's really pathetic for the New Orleans Pelicans. It's comparable with a toxic relationship at this point. Like the Pelicans have, as a franchise, very low self-esteem. They believe nobody good wants to play for them and that any good players they get are merely passing through. It's that small market mentality. Nolans, they feel worthless, right? Nobody wants to play for us. Anthony Davis, he demanded to get traded to the Lakers, and we traded him to the Lakers because he didn't want to play here anymore, and he had people dress him. It was very embarrassing. Plus, it's more likely than not that during the negotiations, not only does the Pelican franchise have low self-esteem, but we assume the position that Williamson or the people around him apologized for his absenteeism and promised that he will do better. The Pelicans feeling the pressure to not give up on a talent like Zion, so they have decided here to forgive and forget, taking the ride it out scenario, ride or die mentality with this player. And so they are being loyal to the tune right now of $193 million with the possibility of an extra $30+ million added on, almost $40 million. So that if he's an all-NBA guy, gets to $231 million for Zion. Again, I'm not against down the line giving it to him if he proves he can consistently play, but he's not that guy. Final point. So how likely is Zion Williamson to stay with the Pelicans for the long haul now that he's signed the max contract? Well, this is where it gets a little dicey because I'm looking at the struggle bus that the Pelicans are driving right now. They're driving the struggle bus, and they're driving the bus the wrong way down a one-way street. And this thing is moving in a single direction. It's not in favor of the team. So looking into the crystal ball, every good talk show host, every bad talk show host needs a crystal ball. So looking into the crystal ball and projecting ahead how this is going to work, did this contract facilitate that Zion Williamson will stay with the Pelicans long term? Well, I'm looking at the road sign in the crystal ball. The road sign says headed towards dead end. Headed towards dead end. So when you take 3 steps back, Williamson, what he's done here is he's taken a detour. He's taken a detour. He gets a nice payday, gives himself a big nest egg, and you can buy a nice house with that, generational wealth, all that. But most of this $193 million deal is guaranteed. They say not all of it, but since they didn't announce how much of it's guaranteed and how much of it's not, that tells you that the vast majority of it is fully guaranteed, and there likely are no escape clauses. But what does that mean? All right, now that that is out of the way, you've done that, you've gotten the busybody work out of the way. If Zion continues to be a malingerer, and right now that's what he is, he's a malingering ball player. If he continues that way of performance, then he will absolutely stay with the Pelicans. But should Zion start actually living up to the billing, consistently perform at a high level, not sporadically, but be able to play most of the games, living up to the lofty expectations, the curse of high expectations, then we will guarantee you that he will say, bye-bye, I need to get out of here. I don't want to play for this team anymore. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, in other words, if you're in the bayou and you want Zion Williamson to stick around, and you better feed him a lot of that great fattening New Orleans food and hope that he hoppity hops on one leg for a while, because those are the things that will lead him to stay in the Big Easy. But should he actually put all the Lego pieces together and they don't fall apart, well, Zion will force his way into a bigger stage somewhere out in the non-boondocks of the NBA.